Wondering if the PMP certification is right for you? As I've taken the exam and some of my experience around taking the exam, I'm hoping that I can help you make that decision. I can only share with you my experience, some of the benefits that I saw after taking the exam, and then some of the reasons that I actually took the exam. And hopefully that can help you and whether or not you want to get your PMP certification and sit for the exam. I'm Darius, I'm a certified project manager, and I've led projects of small to large sizes in various companies. And I'm here to help you master the art of project management. So if you're a business owner, if you're a project manager, or you're an aspiring leader, this video is for you. But before we get started, please like the video. Please also subscribe to the channel if you would like more tips and tricks on how to take your project management to the next level. Also, if you found this video helpful and you want to share it with someone who you think might benefit from it, please don't forget to share the video. This video here is just to help anyone else looking to add project management to their skill set and also get certified in project management. But without further ado, let's jump right in. So before we actually get started about what my experience was when taking the exam and why and all of that fun stuff, we first have to talk about what is the PMP certification. So the PMP certification is the Project Management Professional certification that the Project Management Institute provides to project managers to solidify their work and their project management expertise. So it's a certification that allows you to say, I am a certified project manager. I'm committed to what I do, right? So that's what that certification is. And it's from the Project Management Institute. And this particular institute has been around for a very long time and they are globally recognized. So they are here to standardize the processes for project management. So with that said, that's what the project management certification is, right? So now it is, what are some of the criteria for that? So one of the things that you need to do is have, depending on your level of education, so if you have a bachelor's degree, you can do 3 years of experience in project management and then sit for the exam and take the course, or you can have 6 years of project management experience with no degree and be able to sit for the exam and take the course. You are going to also need a 35-hour course around project management. I would suggest you find out on the Project Management Institute website what accredited courses you can actually take. My route was a little bit different, but I'm sure you can find something that works for you. Something that is beneficial when it comes to visiting the Project Management Institute website is that they do provide a lot of resources. They also provide a lot of other certifications that if you don't have that experience that I mentioned earlier, you can still take to show that, hey, I'm committed to project management. So at least it helps you land that dream job or at least get you your foot in the door. Another thing that is beneficial to that is once you sign up as a member for the Project Management Institute, they have chapters. So you might have a chapter in your city where you can go and meet other professionals who are also just as enthusiastic about project management and who are committed to learning and growing and network with other like-minded folks. The PMP certification has become very known as of lately, and it is globally recognized just because the PMI is also globally recognized. So if you are thinking about getting your project management professional certification, I would suggest that, think about those things as you move it forward. Because whether you're in the US, Canada, India, whether you're in the Caribbean, wherever you are, this certification can benefit you if you are moving forward in a career in project management. Now that we understand what the PMP certification is, let's talk about some of the benefits that I thought were a part of that and why I chose to take the exam and get certified as a project manager. So for me, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do when it came to getting my certification in project management, I was hoping to land bigger opportunities and bigger job opportunities when it came to having my PMP. I was hoping it can help me better establish myself as a project manager. Yes, I had the experience. Yes, I understood how to manage projects, but I was looking for that little extra oomph. Another thing that helped was that when previewing the course, I realized there was a lot of standardization around certain processes that although I were practicing them in my job, it helped me to better get at that understanding of what was standardly used across the globe when it comes to project management. And what were some of the things that we can actually do better, because it helped me, or at least that's what I thought it would do, would help me identify ways I can improve my project management skills. The last thing that motivated me to actually get my PMP certification was that I saw that it had a 60% pass rate. And I wanted to take the challenge. I wanted to get out there and say, you know what? I can pass this on the first try, despite the fact that it sounds hard. That was my goal. My goal was to take it, first try, pass it. That was some of my reasoning as to why I actually took it. But now let's talk about my experience when having to go take this exam. The first thing I did was thought about all of the project management experience I had in the last 3 years and who I can get to validate that experience. Although they do a check, sometimes they don't ask you to validate and sometimes they do. And for me, I just wanted to be prepared. I knew I managed projects for longer than 36 months. And I also knew that I had the experience. It was just a matter of ensuring that I had no roadblocks. Kind of like the risk management we do on a day-to-day. The other thing that I had to do was figure out what course I was going to take. So I decided to take the 35-hour self-course from PMI just because for me, I do a lot better at studying alone. So I can grasp information and concepts by simply picking up a book, reading it, studying it, and understanding it. So that worked for me, but for you, if you're looking for a course, I would suggest that you check on PMI and see what accredited courses you can actually take to ensure that it aligns when you are taking the PMP exam. So now that I have the exam and I decided on what exam platform I was going to take, this is what I did. I spent from 4 a.m. to about 6:30 a.m. every weekday, and then maybe about 4 to 5 hours on Saturday studying through these courses and taking the practice quizzes that they provided. And I did that for about 2 to 2.5 months. There were some days where I did better than others. Sundays, I did not. Saturday, I actually spent a little bit more time. And I just gave it that time before my family got up, before any of the other responsibilities in my life happened. I just wanted to make sure that I dedicated that time first thing in the morning. After studying and taking the 35-hour course, it gave you a practice exam, about 240 questions, I believe. And I was excited for this practice exam because the practice exam helped me to understand how they were going to ask the questions, but helped me a lot because I knew I had the information, but how they ask the questions can be tricky sometimes, and they're very scenario based. So having that understanding of what to expect helped tremendously when it came to taking the practice exams. Another thing that I did was I went on YouTube and I started doing some research on what other people did to pass the exam. Another thing that I did was when I took the practice exams, for any question that I got wrong, I wrote it down and wrote why I got it wrong. And it was like, that was the biggest thing because I was able to go back and say, okay, this question I got wrong, but why? You know what? I knew why I didn't get this wrong. Because although the question that I chose or the answer that I chose was a part of the sequence to what it is that you would need to do in that particular scenario, the reality is it wasn't the first thing. And that's kind of what I'm speaking to when it comes to understanding how to answer the questions. But with all my studying and all my practices, it now led me to exam day. And exam day was full of pressure. I must say, if you're going to take the PMP exam, please do your best, take it in person. I say take it in person because when I took it virtually, it was very stressful. There was a lot of hiccups that happened and it led to a lot of stress. But here's the story so you can get what that stress looked like. I was taking the exam. I knew, let's start mitigating some of these risks before I go and take the exam. Some of the risks that would actually show up would be having to go use the bathroom. So I made sure I didn't drink any water and I used the bathroom before I sat down. I also knew that they took a picture of your entire room with your camera from your computer. So I cleared out my desk. I got everything prepped. I cleared off my computer. I turned off my computer. Turned off all my monitors, and I was prepped and ready to go. All I had was the computer that I was sitting at, taking the exam, and that was it. No phone, no watches, nothing. Turns out that wasn't enough. So when they actually scanned my room, they asked me to plug out the monitors and show that they were plugged out, plug out my desktop and show that it was plugged out, and then also that took an hour and 20 minutes. So I had to wait for a prompter to actually get back to me. Had to wait for somebody to actually approve the room and approve how everything was set up at my desk. And then also had to go through the hiccups of it sometimes not working or feeling as though there was a big delay. The rules of the exam virtually is that if you're taking it virtually, you cannot step out of the camera frame, you can't lean over, you can't turn off your camera for any reason whatsoever. So you can imagine sitting in a room for an hour and 20 minutes, just staring at a blank computer, waiting for them to finish viewing your room. It was stressful. But alas, I made it through the scanning and all of that. And I then said, okay, let's start taking the exam. As I made it through the first 60 questions, things are going smooth. I'm on time, I'm on track. Computer is not connected to the server. I'm connected to the internet, but it's not connected to PMI server. So now I'm not moving forward. Now I'm nervous. Now I'm like, okay, what's going on? Then it comes back. Then it goes again. And I'm just like, oh, this is scary. I hope that this isn't cut off and now I got to do all of this all over again. So in the midst of waiting 5 minutes, which felt like an eternity, to actually take the exam questions again because it stopped midway, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. But it started. So I started moving forward. I got to the second break. So how they broke it up is that there are 180 questions and you get 3 breaks. You get 60 questions, 60 questions, 60 questions. The first 60 questions, okay, those I did pretty good and move forward. So when I'm now taking the exam on the second half, I saw that it said an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm here thinking all I have is 90 minutes and I have 90 minutes to answer 120 questions. Do you know the panic that set in when I thought that I only had 90 minutes to answer? I did not even do the math, but that roughly equals 0.75 minutes to do each question to ensure that I get all the questions done in that 90 minutes. So I saw the 1 and the 3 and I immediately said, I'm going to knock these out as quickly as possible. So I'm racing through these 60 questions and I'm going through them as fast as I can. No time. What I thought was the answer, I didn't second guess it. I didn't think about it. I put it down. I moved forward. I told myself, look, we're going to make it up in the 60 in these 60 questions and we're going to have to kill it in the last 60. I breezed through them and I got through them and they were done. And as I saw that hour and 30 turn to an hour and 15, an hour and 5, and it reached 1 hour, I saw it go down to 99 minutes. And I immediately took a relief in my heart. But I've already breezed through 60 questions in 30 minutes. I was nervous because I'm just like, oh, did I take the time that I needed to answer these questions? I wasn't sure. Either way, I had to move on to the next section. I couldn't go back to the last one. I got 99 minutes, 98 probably now, to knock out 60 questions. That was more favorable because I already planned to do about 1.5 minutes per question so that I can get all of the questions done. Like, this is how much planning I did. And so I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can deal with this. So I started to work the questions and long behold, I finished the last 60. No hiccups, no speed racer, just a regular 60 question exam. I kid you not, I was just like, I hope I get the first 60 right and the last 60 right. And that equals 66. So I don't even know if I'm passing. Let's just say that I, by some miracle, knock out half of the other 60 and get half of those right because the way I speed through it, I was just moving. I cried when I saw that I passed. I was just like, oh, I passed. I made it. I finished. Oh, it was so much tears of joy because there was so much panic before. Throughout all the panic and all of that, I passed. And what was even better was that I passed with above targeted and like the highest that you can get for the rating that they provide you. I'm not tooting a horn. I'm just letting you know that throughout all of my panic and throughout all of my stress, I still passed. So although that big 60% of folks that do pass and that 40% that don't, once you are comfortable with the information and you have the experience, I am 100% sure you're not going to have as bad of a day as I did taking the exam, and you should be fine. So go out there. If you're thinking about taking it, go out there and take it. I hope that was helpful, at least the bad story and the stress that I had to deal with. After I passed the exam, I was ecstatic. I'm like, yes, let's see. I finally accomplished what I said I wanted to do. I took the challenge on. I learned so much from taking the course, and it helped standardize a lot of the things that I did and put it into that perspective that wasn't happening at my job. I became such a better project manager for it, and also was able to help other people be better managers for it. So I saw immediate benefits as to how I moved as an employee. Number 2, immediately I told my job, hey, I got my certification. Within the next week, I got a raise. Then now the jobs that I actually started applying for were asking for PMP, and we're looking for PMP, and they loved it, and I loved it too, because they gave me the opportunity to make even more coins. It really helped elevate my knowledge, elevate my salary, and then also help elevate my confidence. My confidence shot through the roof. So these are some of the benefits that I saw when taking the exam. And I share this with you because I'm hoping that my story helps you decide on whether you want to take the exam. Again, don't take the exam virtually. If you can, take it in person, unless they've changed how they do it. That was my experience. I'm sure it won't be yours, but just be mindful of some of the things that I went through and just move forward. You're not going to have a bad time, and if you have the experience, it's not going to hurt. I did this in roughly 3 months. I started in December. I got my certification in March. So I'm sure you can knock it out too. It won't take much of your time. But with that said, I hope that my story, my reasons for wanting to take it, and the benefits I immediately saw after convinces you enough to get your certification. And if you don't have the experience, don't worry. There's other certifications that can help you get your foot in the door. Take those as well, so this way you can start doing the things that you want to do in project management and just start working in the profession. I love it. I love taking things and going from idea to reality. And if that's something that you love, or whatever your reason is for being a project manager or joining project management, go for it. That's my story. That's the reason why. If you found this video helpful and if you like the content, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will continue to provide tips and tricks on improving your project management skills. I will also do some videos around how and what I studied for the PMP exam. So if you want to see those as well, please subscribe and hit the notification so you don't miss it. And if you found this helpful for you, and you know that there's somebody that can probably use this story to help motivate them to move forward in project management, then please share the video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's continue to make our projects great, continue to motivate our teams, and continue to turn thoughts and ideas into reality. I appreciate you, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Have a fantastic day.